Good morning, everyone. I'd like to take a moment to welcome you all to worship and say how thankful I am that you were able to brave the elements of the snowstorm and to make your way into the sanctuary. Thank you all for all of your four-wheel drives, your side-by-sides, your tractors that helped us get the parking lots cleared so everybody could be here very safely today. For those of you who are unable to brave the weather today because you might be drifted in, we thank you for joining us from home. And we hope that you'll be able to join us once we get some snow melt this week when the temperature comes up as the week goes on. Today, we take some time to gather for worship and to learn and to grow. And before we get into a few prayer concerns, I want to say thank you to everybody that has become, for the last 2 weeks, part of our Sunday morning team. Steve and Nancy, Rachel downstairs leading children's Sunday school time. I don't know where you're sitting. I can't see you right now. There you are, right there. It feels more like a team again. And I have people that are doing other things, so I'm doing other things, and I don't feel quite as frazzled. So I can't tell you how much that means to me, and I really, really appreciate it. And everybody that has been participating with your children in our Sunday school program as it started up now again in its second week, just about the time we got to almost a 25% positivity rate in Vanderburgh and Posey County with COVID. Perfect timing, right? And for everybody that's upstairs in the Sunday school hall with Steve and Nancy, thank you so much for being a part of this journey together. It means a whole lot. A couple things that I'd like to mention this morning concerning a few prayers, and then I'll get into some announcements. I'd like for us to continue to think about Don Haynert, who remains at Deaconess Hospital, Martha Robinson at St. Peter's United Methodist Church, Jerry McClarney. A lot of you know Jerry through the years, whether you've been out there. I know there's legendary stories of the time that Reverend Sherry and Jerry would spend time together out there, and you'd come to get dirt for your garden. And he's got his side of the hill with all of that great dirt from all the horses over all those years. And the number of people who've had horses or learned how to ride horses at he and Gail's place. Jerry just hasn't been doing well for really quite some time. And so I'd like you just to think about him. I'm going to meet with Amber following worship today to talk a little bit about the possibility of putting some meals together and getting them to his place. But I want to talk to her first, and then I want to share that with you after I speak with her, and then after I speak with him, because sometimes he's happy about that, and sometimes he's not so happy. What are they bringing me food for? Don't they think I can take care of myself, right? We'll get something worked out. He just hasn't been feeling well at all and has been in the hospital and has been home this past week for a few days. Charlie Elkins, we continue to remember him in our prayers and offer him all the support that we can give him. And then also to our church friends just down Ford Road, Emmanuel United Church of Christ, after a 3-year search, has called someone to serve their congregation, Reverend Elizabeth Bear, who formerly was serving, when I first met her a lot of years ago, St. Peter's Highland. She was at that church and then had done some other work in the community. She is now serving at Emmanuel United Church of Christ, and so we're incredibly happy for that call and that opportunity for their congregation. The playground project, you're going to see a slide here that's not accurate. We crunched some numbers, and we got it down to $107.43. I want you to know, as of this morning, about 3 minutes before I walked into this sanctuary, I was told that it's not counted yet, but there was a $200 check in the drawer, so we are $100 over our goal right now. So the bad news is we talked to the company, they said with COVID and shipping problems, we'll be able to put it in 2026. So we're going to invest that money and we're going to expand the playground by then. Now we'll be meeting this week, and the committee will be putting together some final presentations for our annual meeting, visiting with the installers, and hopefully we'll have some dates and some more specifics concerning this project and when it will begin. And so that's great news. Thank you all so much for all of your continued support and all the things that you did extra outside of everything here in the congregation. We really, really appreciate it. I think there are a few offering envelopes still available in the foyer. If they are, they're along the counter where the coffee pot and those types of things are. If you haven't picked those up, please do. Monday night, we'll meet as a part of a bereavement group. I've got around 3 people that have notified me about starting another group, okay? I want to get that number to at least 5 or 6. If you're interested, you're more than welcome to talk to people who are a part of that first group. Some of those people in that first group that met are Carol Joe, Rosie Bogard, Tina Spears is here today. I think I saw Deline, who came into church. She may have just came. Deline is here. Laura is in that first group. That group is not allowing new members, but if you'd like to talk with them about what the experience is like, please take some time to do so. I've told them as a part of those group gatherings, they are the greatest conveyors of the experience. And if you'd have a chance to speak with them and you might be interested, please do so. We'd make arrangements to do whatever we needed to do to start another group. Talked about Sunday school classes. We're well aware of that. They started upstairs. They are also meeting downstairs. Looked like you had a good class upstairs today, so doing a great job. Again, Steve and Nancy are sitting, they're all in black today. Something must have happened, I don't know. It might have had a gerbil died or something, I'm not sure. But they are great teachers, tons and tons of knowledge. What an asset to the congregation, and they'd love to talk with you about some of the things that they're doing in class. Our annual meeting is set for the last Sunday of the month. If you would like to be here, we'd love to have you here with us. But we will also have our meeting via Zoom if you are unable to be here, and you will be considered present as we seek to have a quorum and pass resolutions and the budget and all of those types of things. If you have any written reports that need to be handed in so they can be added to the booklet, please have those in by Wednesday. Just a reminder, there's a box in the sanctuary. This will be the 3rd Sunday now since we started this. We talked about what are our words for the year, and what would that word be for you individually, but also what might be the word for our church that would drive us forward and would lead us into the months of 2022. I'd like for you to submit that word, whatever it is: fun, happy, strong, discipleship, spirituality, Jesus, God, whatever it might be, and just submit it in the box that's right outside the door in the foyer. We're going to compile that, and it's going to be a great asset to the new church council as we seek to envision what we are going to hope to do in the upcoming year. Just a couple other announcements I want to touch on quickly. The bids that we are accepting as we get into the new year will be for custodian positions in the church. There are 2 custodial positions. One is to clean this upper area of the church, and there's another position for cleaning the downstairs area of the church. If you're interested in that possibility, we'd like for you to submit a bid or talk with Dan Hoffman, who is our church council president. He's sitting in the back. A lot of you know Dan. You can speak with me, and I'll put you in touch with the correct person that they can give you a list and a description of what that job would entail. If you're interested at all, please consider submitting a bid for the year once you gather more information. And then a lot of you probably already noticed as you came into the church directories are here. Kelly, I had put a thing on Facebook. I know everybody doesn't do Facebook, but Kelly, Miss Carol Embry, Irma Donner, Rosie Bogard, am I forgetting anybody? Good. We're all a big part of helping make that directory a success. And it was probably, even though directories are difficult, it can be even more difficult when you do it in a COVID year because there aren't photos available, the church is empty, there aren't groups meeting, and so it became quite a task of compiling photos. So thank you all for your efforts in making such a wonderful directory available to us. Please see them in the foyer if you would like one. So, Jolene, your fingers ready? All right, lead us in a prelude, and we'll move into the worship service as we begin to center, to think about our life, our faith, our spirituality, and where God might be calling us to be and go. I would invite you, as you are able, and if you would like, to stand as we join together in a prayer. A prayer that we offer today together as a gathered body of people moving forward in our faith reads this way: Eternal God, be here with us through the strength and purpose of your Spirit. Touch our souls with comfort and calmness as we face these days together. Help us to look and walk forward with confidence, assurance, trusting, O God, in your wisdom and love. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen. Please be seated. I would invite children to come forward if they'd like. Have some questions for you today. Hope you can help me figure a few things out. Oh my gosh, are you okay? Good job, everyone. Let me get through this traffic jam. All right. All right. You're coming up too? All right, are you sure? You want a big one of those chairs? You want to get right on the step? Okay. All right. How's everybody today? Good. Everybody staying healthy? It's good to see you. Good to see everyone. I missed you this week. I hope you had a wonderful week. I hope school went okay. And I hope you're having a wonderful day today. What's the best thing that happened to you this past week? Your best moment. What would it be? Yes, ma'am. Spend time with your mother. Good. Your best moment this week was spending time with your mama. What was your best moment this week? Spending time with your family. All right. What was your best moment? You got to spend some time with your grandmother. Excellent. Yes, ma'am. Gymnastics. I saw some photos of you at gymnastics. Yeah, you look like you're a pretty good gymnast. You're getting to be pretty good. Am I going to see you in the Olympics someday? Maybe not the Olympics, but maybe at a college somewhere, or yeah. What was the best thing that happened this week? You what? Didn't have to go to school Wednesday, so you had a day off. Do you have to go to school tomorrow? No, you don't have to go to school tomorrow either. What's wrong with school these days? Goodness gracious.
Make it up today.
What?
Make it up.
Yeah, you got to make it up. I had a great moment last night. We did a really fun thing. I did with some friends. We did kind of a crazy thing that we don't do very often, but there was professional wrestling at the Coliseum. And so me and some friends went and saw some people do some wrestling in the ring and had a good time and had some photos. So I was able to spend some time with some good friends and had a great time last evening along with my son and his girlfriend. Are you ready to help me do some things? I have some photos on this little iPad that I have that I need you to help me figure out. Do you think you can help me do that? So I'm going to give you a clue, and then you're going to try to figure out what that photo might be, and then I'm going to show you the photo if we can't get it. So here's your first clue. That's okay. That's okay. Just the first time we'll do that. And then when I do that or something. Or should I go to the clicker? Let's do that. Let's try that. This creature you may see in your backyard and comes out at night. What do you think it is? That's a raccoon, right? Has anyone ever seen a raccoon? Yeah. Has anyone ever petted a raccoon? You petted a raccoon? Really? Where were you at when you did that? Yeah, well, you're brave. Here's the second one, okay? This second creature, and it's a creature, can be found in the southern states, likes to be in the water, and can be kind of scaly. What do you think that might be? What do you think?
Snake.
Not a fish, not a snake. What do you think? It could be an alligator or a crocodile, right? It's alligator or crocodile. I can't tell the difference. It's a crocodile? Okay, it's a crocodile. This... Okay. This next creature you may have in your backyard. Some people have them in their homes, and they eat almost anything. What do you think it is? Not a snake, no. What were you going to say? No, not a snake, yes. A dog, no. What do you think? What do you think? A goat? A goat's a great guess. Not a goat. What do you think? Not a cat. What do you think it might be? It could be you sure that's the snout of a pig or is that a crocodile? I'm just kidding. I don't want to go through that again. What? This next one is not a creature, but it's a symbol of something that can be inspiring. Many times you see them in churches. What do you think it is? Yes, what do you think it is? You think it's a cross? Yeah, it's a cross. Nice job. You saw it? Where'd you see it? It wasn't? Okay. It's a symbol. What does that represent? Yes, since you got it, what do you think? What is it? What? I didn't hear you. It represents God and God's Spirit. I've said this a number of times. I'll say it again because we don't say it often enough. One of the things about the church that we're in, notice there's no person on that cross. And in some churches, there is a person on the cross. We believe that Jesus was on the cross and Jesus represented God, but that Jesus was taken down and now that Spirit lives in each of you. And so you are little representations, like I'm a little representation of God's work in the world today. This next thing is also church related. We do it sometimes, not always, and occasionally you help me with this. What do you think it is? Yes. Think it's communion? That's a good guess. Anyone else want to guess? What do you think? It's the bread and wine thing, which is, what is it? Yeah, what do you think it is? The lighting of the candles? No. What do you think it is? Yes, what do you think it is? You can't remember. You were right from the beginning. It's communion. So the cross represents God. The cross represents Jesus now in the world through all of us. This represents something that happened in Jesus' life. What was it? Anybody remember? The last what? The last dinner. That's right. They had a last dinner together with friends, and he said to them, "This is my body and this is my blood. I'm giving it up for you. I'm asking you now to give something of yourself for others also." This next one is something that you frequently visit, mostly on Sundays. Which church? You think it's this church? What's the name of this church? You can't remember. Okay, what's the name of this church? Zion Lippy. What else goes on after that? Anybody remember what that is? Zion Lippy what? Methodist Church? No. What do you think it is? United Church of Christ. United Church of Christ. Zion Lippy, United Church of Christ. This is a great photo. I think JJ may have taken this photo. Did you guys take this photo at one time? That's this church that's been here for a long time, and many people have come to this church, have helped make this church beautiful, and have helped this church exist within the community for so many years. Two more. This next one happens at various ages of your life. It's usually done in the church, sometimes in a home, but doesn't happen every Sunday. What do you think? Yes. You want to go with baptism? That's a great guess. Yeah, being baptized. Who here has been baptized? Do you know if you've been baptized? Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to know for sure because you're a baby like this baby who's being baptized. Sometimes people get baptized when they're older. Sometimes they're baptized when they're a baby, and then they also get rebaptized when they get older. There's a lot of different things that take place, but it represents a next step in your journey as a disciple. This next clue is a word. It's a 5-letter word that represents something you might have in something that you can't see. What do you think? What do you think that we might? A what? A heart? Not heart? No, what do you think? Trust? Christ? You're on the right track. What do you think? Love? You're getting there. These are all components of this word. What do you think? You think it's love too? What are you thinking now? Jesus? All parts of something, yes. Hope? Great. This word starts with an F, though. What do you think it is? Spit it out. Faith. Sometimes it takes faith in things that we can't see, but that we trust to be there, that we have hope in, and that we love. You guys are awesome at this. And so this is what I want you to remember by looking at all of these different photos. It's that your faith and your life and your journey requires effort. And this church, this community, your school, any of those things can't be successful without you helping it along. You're important. You are a leader. You are people that can make a difference. And you really, really, really do. Great job on those photos. I still don't know if it's a crocodile or an alligator. We'll talk about it after church, okay? You can explain it to me again, all right? Because I'm still confused. I got you. I zip it, lock it, put it in the pocket. And we're good. We'll talk after church, okay? All right. Let's have a prayer, and then we'll make our way back to our families or whoever we're here with today. Dear God, thank you for so many things, especially for leading us and teaching us how to lead. Amen. All right. Good job. Good job. Today we read from the Gospel of John, the first chapter, verses 43 through 51. As we move further and further into Jesus' life and the calling of disciples and how those disciples came to be. It reads this way. The next day Jesus decided to go to Galilee. He found Philip and said to him, "Follow me." Now Philip was from Bethsaida, the city of Andrew and Peter. Philip found Nathanael and said to him, "We have found him about whom Moses in the law and also the prophets wrote, Jesus, son of Joseph from Nazareth." Nathanael said to him, great line, right? Can anything good come out of Nazareth? Has anyone ever said that about you? You talking about Bob Yunker? That dude? Oh my gosh. I thought you were talking about that Bob Yunker. I didn't know that. You talking about that Reverend Sherry? Oh yeah, I know that Reverend Sherry. You should have known him before he was a reverend. Does anything good come out of Nazareth? Philip said to him, "Come and see." When Jesus saw Nathanael coming towards him, he said to him, "Here is truly an Israelite in whom there is no deceit." Nathanael asked him, "Where did you come to know me?" Jesus answered, "I saw you under the fig tree before Philip called you." Nathanael replied, "Rabbi, you are the Son of God. You are the King of Israel." Jesus answered, "Do you believe because I told you that I saw you under the fig tree? You will see greater things than these." And he said to him, "Very truly, I tell you, you will see heaven opened and the angels of God ascending and descending upon the Son of Man." Here ends our reading today of this Holy Scripture from the Gospel of John. It's the disciples of John the Baptist who seek out Jesus. And they seek out Jesus why? I think it's an incredibly important question to consider. John, like I'm sharing with the children, becomes a catalyst or a leader for that community. Not only are we called to be led by God, but we are also called to be leaders on God's behalf. The disciples that are going out to seek Jesus go out to seek Jesus after John testified to who he was and who this person was going to be. And here Andrew is originally one of John's followers, and when he finds Jesus, he goes and gets his brother, goes and gets Simon, and they follow Jesus. And this morning, we remember that just after that, in the story that was shared, Jesus goes to Galilee and he finds Philip. And like was done before, Philip goes and calls Nathanael. It's an interesting dynamic, and it's one that we talk about yet in the church today. It's interesting that in each of these two stories, one person sees and hears Jesus and goes and calls another, a brother, a friend, someone online. They may have posted a TikTok video of them with Jesus. I don't know, and they might have saw it and somebody started following it or liking it. Maybe they were Snapchatting it. I don't know how they did it back then, but they probably talked to one another. And Andrew goes and recruits Peter. Peter recruits Nathanael. I have to say today, it's important to never doubt the importance of a personal invitation. Never doubt the importance of a personal invitation. Dr. Randy Posh, who's been gone for a number of years now, in a great speech that he gave before he died, in the book that you can still pick up called The Last Lecture, talks about the importance of these little things, these personal connections, these personal relationships. And one of the things that he said that's so important to do is to write a personal note to someone of thanks or of appreciation. Don't text them. Don't send them an email. It's important sometimes to take the time to write it out. That when somebody receives this, it has your handwriting, it has your effort, and it has your spirit in the note. Never doubt the importance of that personal invitation. But there's another interesting aspect to this story and another interesting question. It's the fig tree. Why is Nathanael by this fig tree? And what do fig trees have to do with anything anyway? Jesus sees Nathanael. He calls to him without much apprehension. And surely it's someone who doesn't have a whole lot of etiquette about them that once he's called says, can anything good come out of this? Can anything good happen as a result of this person calling me? He says it out loud. Never seen Jesus before. Do you know me? Before Philip told you to come and see me, I saw you under a fig tree. He was noticed before anything was even said to him. And with this, Nathanael calls Jesus Rabbi and the Son of God and the King of Israel. So what's up with this fig tree? Why does Jesus, seeing Nathanael there, warrant such praise and merit and immediate devotion? Is it some Masonic symbol? Some dramatic reminder of the covenant? Some element of the Exodus that will immediately draw the readers of this gospel and the hearers back to the thoughts of prior experiences and prior stories? Fig trees were prevalent enough that it gets mentioned about as often as olive trees do in the Bible. But there's no great symbolic meaning behind this particular fig tree or any particular tree for that matter. It's what happens as a result of where somebody was and what happened when they were there. The point of the story, it turns out, is not that we know what the fig tree means. It's the fact and the importance that Nathanael feels when Jesus calls his name. We can imagine sitting under this fig tree, maybe at the lowest point of our life, and in one of those moments, we traditionally use this word, right? How you doing today? I'm fine. I'm doing just fine. Thank you for asking. When I hear people say I'm doing just fine, I hear a couple of things. And some of those are in those words there. I don't want to talk about it right now. I'm not in the right place to talk about it right now. Or gosh, we're late for lunch. I'm fine. See you later. Never forget the importance of reaching out to someone like Nathanael, who was seen. And it made all the difference in his life. I can imagine how Nathanael may have felt. Can you think of a moment in your life in which someone noticed you? In which someone thought about you? And it made everything completely different. This past week, I had a chance to take a group of kids to Sabic. I've never been to Sabic before. A few times, I get an opportunity to do things like that. These are kids who are looking for jobs after high school. What do you do, right? So we went to Sabic. We toured Sabic. I didn't know it was quite as big of a place as it was. I never realized that you could have a plant that had so many tubes. It's endless. Endless, endless, endless. And there's a young man that's been a part of this class who is in a life skills class, and his name is Justin. Justin is a young man that they're trying to do all that they can to integrate into everyday activities. Can he function in a class with other students? Could he get on a bus and handle a bus ride? And could he interact with others? And so as Justin was being brought into this class, I spoke with them one day and I said this. You all know Justin, right? Yeah, we know Justin. Justin's going to be in this class, and so here's something that I ask of you. There's going to be times in where Justin might need help. Justin won't be able to do everything that I ask you to do in this class, and I'm not even going to expect that of him. But what I'm going to expect of you is this. I am going to expect of you to be his advocate like I will be. And when you see Justin in the hallway, when you see Justin at lunch, when you see Justin getting on the bus, when you see Justin getting into school, I want you to make sure he knows he matters more than almost anything else in that moment. Can you do that? And Justin joined us, and we learned something about Justin. What we learned about Justin is that he doesn't like heights. We didn't know that until we were there. They took us up on one of the highest levels to look at a machine that has made this product. Again, I'm probably describing this perfectly with all the scientific terms that are necessary, into what they call cake. And Justin had to walk up some steel grating steps about this high, and he was okay going up, but when he started to walk down and he could see through those stairs, he didn't like it at all, but he made it. Here's where he didn't make it. There was a catwalk that went from where we were out to another tower that was about 80 feet in the air that was open grading. And when Justin came and looked at that, he said, "No, I'm not doing that." And I said, "I'm not either. I'll stand here with you." While everyone else lined up on that catwalk acting like they were real tough. But every single person that was on that catwalk had both their hands on the railing on each side, just like this. Why do I tell you that story? As it relates to Nathanael, as it relates to this fig tree. Because if anyone has ever made you feel like you matter more than anything else in the world, it's an incredible moment. That can take you from your lowest moment to the peak of that mountain. And when that lowest moment comes again, that remembrance and that memory might not allow you to go all the way down to the bottom of the valley, but just about halfway. And you can say, you know what? I know Bob cares about me. I know Reverend Sherry cares about me. I know Carol Joe loves to teach me. I know Donna loves me. I know people think I matter. I want others to feel that same way. And when that happens, and in doing so, you can begin to feel like you're never out of sight. You're never out of God's sight. You're never out of your friend's sight. You're never out of someone's thought, worry, or care. And I think there is so much importance in that as we think about the thanks that we would give to God in our lives, wherever that may be. So think about this, please. Think about the ways in which God has blessed you this past week and how you hope to be a blessing to someone else. When you go to lunch today, wherever you're going to go to lunch, I don't know where it is. I hear you all talking about it in the foyer. Where are we going to lunch today? We're going to, I don't know, we're going to Logan's? Are we going to go to Old Charlie's? Oh, Charlie's, I had a bad salad last week. Let's go down on Franklin Street. Gersthaus has got a, I don't know where you're going for lunch, but when you're at lunch, just take a moment to talk about that. Say, hey, I just wanted you to know I appreciate your fortitude, your work ethic. I appreciate how you made a difference this week in whatever way that was. When we work to lift people up, I think we can do some incredible things in the years to come. We already have. You think about the 7 years that we've had together and what we've accomplished. I think there's a lot of things. I go all the way back 7 years ago when we thought about, there's no way there's going to be a thing on the wall, there's going to be a projector hanging, there's no way this could happen. And it did. There's no way we could get scaffolding up to change those fans in the ceiling, and we did. There are so many people that we've touched through our optimism and our faith. Let's continue to do so in the incredible ways in which we have. I'm blessed to be able to be here with you. I'm blessed to be able to share with you this journey of faith. Thank you so much for affording me that. Help me share that optimism with others. If you would join with me in just a moment of prayer as we give thanks to God for that eternal presence in our lives. Dear gracious Lord, as we've gathered today and as we have thought about and reflected upon the people in our lives that have made a difference to us, whoever they may be, wherever they may be. It may have happened just this week. It may have happened 50 years ago. But that speaks to your constancy and your commitment to us, dear Lord, that you show up in those moments, in the words and in the actions, in the relationships of others. Help us as Philip did, and as Simon did, and as John did, and as Nathaniel did. Foster relationships with others that compel generation after generation of discipleship. Give us the strength and give us the vision to be those beacons of hope in our world today, in our communities, in our families, in our churches. Thank you for loving us all of these years. We return the favor to you with these words when together we say, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. As we spoke of faith and as we live into our faith, we close with singing, My Faith Looks Up to Thee. Please stand and either use the hymnals in your pews or the words on the screen. For those of you that joined us from your homes and for those of you that have joined us here in our sanctuary today, thank you all for taking the time to be with us. It's a blessing to worship with you this Sunday morning. May God's presence be with you and may it find you wherever it needs to find you and may it lead you to wherever you need to be led. Our worship today here at Zion Lippe United Church of Christ has ended. Let our service now begin. Amen.